Questabell, Questabell, it's what we're going to play. We will probably get through chapter 3 today. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, very late at night, depending on where it is for you. And I hope that you're generally well. I am Bez, and this is my lovely friend and co-designer,
Kirsten. Hi.
And in the background, Kirsten is actually just getting everything ready for us. So, shall we do a recap of what Questabell is? For those who didn't see the first show, Questabell is, I'm going to say, the most ambitious game for the L deck. I made the L deck. There's a bunch of games you can play with it. There was a contest. Side note, I'm very sorry about how the 2023 contest went down. I will make it up to everyone somehow. But yeah, immigration and everything, and there was a lot going on in life. But Questabell, back to Questabell. There's 50 quests, and it's mutated. And Kirsten came up with the yeah, you came up with the overall design. I did a bit of development on that overall design. And then, but even once the overall design has been done, we've spent the past year and a half basically just working on the quests. I would say that the mechanics haven't, I think there might have been one small change with the Consult the Council in the past year and a half, but I don't think anything else has changed. Is that correct? Or please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so. No, I think it's the core has been pretty solid. It's just all the quests and all the things that you can do with the L deck that we've been playing in, the design space we've been playing in.
And I love how straight off the bat there are, so last week, no, yeah, was it last week? It was Thursday. It depends how you count your weeks. So on Thursday, we started playing from Quest 1. We managed to get to Quest 10, and there was a lot of variety in the levels. I think we were generally happy with how it went. We had some side chats afterwards, and we managed to become junior librarians. We were greeted by the head librarian. We managed to complete the task, and finally we are junior librarians. Is there anything else that we need to recap?
Well, we got introduced to upper and lower letters. We got introduced to Fip and Piff, the
yes, the trolls.
wicked...
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, no, because it says to call them trolls would be a compliment.
Indeed. We learned the 6 schools of magic, which correlated to the borders of the cards. So yeah, we got to know the deck and our story pretty well. We've definitely got some enemies out there we're protecting the library from. And now that we're junior librarians, we get to see how we do protecting the library.
And I think it would be nice to talk about one piece of design before we start. And hopefully today we'll be closer to starting in at 5 minutes-ish. So I'll get the banner up. It says Chapter 3. Today we are planning to play just Chapter 3 because it was a bit late of a late night, and they are just going to get longer and longer. And I think that it's really interesting how we are shifting away. I think this is actually kind of live design, where previously we encouraged people to start at level 11, and because we suggested that, we were thinking, okay, level 11 should also be the simplest possible thing. But then as soon as we brought in the framework, as soon as we brought in the narrative with, oh, go in this direction, go in that direction, that actually changed the way that people approach things. And for me, I feel like the design lesson is that narrative, and even though it's only a suggestion and people can obviously do whatever they want, narrative, graphics, even if they don't directly impact the game in the way they do in Dixit or a game about cute comical creatures and trying to identify them after some mixed noises, they do impact the experience quite a bit. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was really quite an interesting discovery, how that changed the experience and gave people a little something extra to enjoy in the earlier levels. So it didn't folks didn't really want to skip them anymore. So that was
Mm-mm.
quite delightful.
And with those suggestions, we weren't just it kind of almost feels like we are in the box. I know with games it always says you can't have the designer in the box, but I feel like this is the closest you can get, where it's like, well, if level 1 was really easy, just skip to level 5. I mean, it's going to be a big jump, but if you're really finding it super simple, and if you're a master wordsmith, then why spend time on levels that aren't going to challenge and engage and entertain you? But still, you want to make sure that they have a few of those story beats. And because there's a sort of zigzag difficulty level, then hitting those boss levels makes for a really good game.
I concur. I do think that we're kind of curating a variety of experiences with it, basically. So, and then there's just the joy and delight of a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So we've had some fun engaging with that and saying, oh, well, now with the story, as well as the mechanics, there's a couple of different ways that you can enjoy the game. Actually, several. So trying to help folks of every varying level of comfort with word games to be able to still have a great experience.
And just to avoid disappointment, it's not actually a branching narrative. It is a linear narrative, which is written to still make sense, even if you skip the maximum number of levels. So it's kind of a linear narrative that can be read in its entirety and played in its entirety, or it can be accelerated through. And rather than choose your own adventure, you might say choose your own acceleration speed.
Yeah. I was thinking of the adventure in terms of not so much the story as the game adventure, like which level of the game that you want to adventure into. So yeah.
So it's all set up, and hello to the folk watching. And if you want to chip in with a comment or chip in with a word suggestion, once we start, Kirsten's going to stop looking at the screen for StreamYard, so you won't see any of my cards, but everyone will see the game from my perspective, and my hand is the one in red. We have already taken out the T's and O's, and this is an on-the-fly change, which is quite exciting. So, Kirsten, would you like to introduce Quest 11?
Certainly. So starting with our chapter 3 header. Chapter 3, Junior Librarian's Work is Never Mundane. Moderate. We are now in the moderate level. Quests 11 through 15. There's not much time to celebrate your promotion, as there's plenty of work to be done in the mystical library. It turns out those trolls were just the beginning. The mysterious wizard who controls them is after something in the library, though no one has said exactly what. Your job for now is to keep things organized and in control while learning as much as you can before the next attack comes.
Quest number 11, Where to? This library can feel labyrinthian to many, says the head librarian's assistant. Today you will walk the floor on the main level and help any who seem lost. You conjure T and O and keep them hovering above your head to let visitors know that they should not be too confused. You can guide them to their destination. And in this level, we've advanced. We need to make 4-letter words. We need to make at least 4 words. And we have already removed the T's and O's. So, a slightly trickier start. And Kirsten, would you like to begin?
Sure. I will say leash, Leash.
Okay. I am going to say, it's interesting because I'm just going to verbalize for folk watching. I'm sure that Kirsten's well aware of this. Instantly, with the previous level, I was able to just make 3-letter words with what's in my hand and think, that's how it's going to go. but now instantly I feel a little bit trickier. I'm going to say lean, Lean.
Okay. Um, I will say mash, MASH.
And I could use the H to make mash, but I'm also going to use it to make head, HEAD.
Awesome.
And those cards go away and are our first word of 4.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to make a note of when we started. I think it was about 1 minute ago.
I'm going to say cheese, CHEESE.
I'm going to say, oof, I'm going to say sons. Oh no, yeah, let's just do that. I've already said it. Although even saying, oh, I've already said it is probably slightly cheating.
Let's see.
So
I'm going to say shin, SHIN.
I'm going to quickly check. Oh, great. I'm going to check the words Hine, HINE. You are allowed to. No, it's not a word. In our rules, we say that you can check 1 word per turn, and I think that's a good amount. I had someone, I can't remember when it was, maybe UK Games Expo, who I said, do what you want, but that's my recommendation. And then afterwards they said, okay, I see why you said only 1 per turn, because then they got themselves into just checking lots of things. Just, is this a word? Is this a word? Oh, I will say sing, SING.
I'll say sing, SING.
Yay! Oh, clan, CLAN. And there's 3 different types of communication limits. So one is that we are just allowed to have everything face up, and we're allowed to discuss everything fully. And that's what we recommend, especially if some people are very inexperienced or if you're playing with much younger players. And then the most difficult version is that you're only allowed to say that 1 word. And if we were playing on that 1 word, I think you'd have to be kind of stony faced to not go, ooh. But
I'm going to say file, FILE.
File. Oof. Phil. I will leave that and I will put darn, DARN. But we are playing with the.
Oh, go ahead.
File. Nice.
Yeah.
I will say yarn, YARN.
Oh.
We are playing with the consult the council, which means that as well as your 1 clue word per turn, which is possibly cluing in the other person into what's in your hand, or possibly just reminding them of a word that they might not have seen, you also get to ask 3 yes or no questions during the course of the quest.
I'm going to say SEEP, SEEP.
Okay, I will keep going yarn, YARN.
Woohoo, yarn. YARN.
Nice.
And that's our 4 words. Yay!
That felt very quick and surprisingly easy despite the T and O coming out, but that actually felt like a perfect difficulty. I don't know what you feel. That actually took
Yeah.
us 4 minutes. Although there is
Okay.
some variance because I don't record the seconds. I should acknowledge that. um, so, success. And after each level, there's a bit of writing which we can read through to see what happens. You must have looked pleased with yourself as the day drew to a close because the assistant brusquely says as he walks by, "Not too bad. At least no one got completely lost. To try a job that's just a smidge tougher, teach some tots in quest number 12. Want a trickier task?
Oops. Want a trickier task? Proceed to quest 13.
Okay."
Sorry about that. We did some updating and I failed to update that second
As well,
sentence.
we're reading through everything. So, as said before, we are playing through everything in order, and now it goes to quest number 12. Shall I try to put the things back in while you read the start?
Put what back in? Oh, sure, if that's comfortable for you. Quest number 12, teaching the schools. Learning the schools of magic seems like something you did ages ago as you stare at the upturned faces of the children in the library classroom. Your teacher will help you recognize the different schools and show you how to combine them safely. The assistant turns on his heel and immediately abandons you to this troop of tots. Here goes. So in this one, we have no T and no O. We still have 4-letter words or longer, but we have no duplicate borders, so we can't combine the schools of magic, and no duplicate letters. So it's a little step up from what we did previously with no duplicate borders, because we also have to make sure when we use words, we're not repeating letters. Our goal is to make 4 words. So we can place cards that have duplicate letters, but we can't use them more than once in a word to have it qualify for our quest.
And if you could,
oh yes, I'll take those
2
out of my
cards
hand.
and shuffle. I will also mention that for the earlier levels with just 3 letters, the duplicate letters never seemed like something that would actually come up. Whereas now, with the 4-letter words, there are a couple of things. Like, I was going to help you continue the word seep if we had needed it, but I think it will still be the schools of magic that are the bigger, trickier thing. We will see how we get on.
Indeed.
So, are we ready?
Indeed. Oh, do you need cards?
I'll draw for myself.
Okay.
You start.
I will say, oops. I will say barn, B-A-R-N.
Oh, I will, and I'm just while Kirsten's not looking, I'm just increasing the size of these cards and reminding people that this is the low quality Comic Sans version. I wonder if I should try to get a nicer thing for streaming, but
we can talk about it if you want to send me a file.
Can see the numbers at the bottom, and that's what's being referenced. The numbers at the top of this particular deck are basically not there. But yes, we're just worrying about the borders, and there's bubbles out, so I cannot play anything on that particular line which has bubbles. So I'm going to say meds. MEDS.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
I will just double check, but fairly sure that's in the dictionary. Like medicines. Yes, of course it is. Oh, apparently it's only British. Oh no. Sorry, in the dictionary it said meds. In British English, it's informal for medicines. And in American English, it's informal for medications or medicines. I mean, I felt like medications was the same thing, but maybe not. I'm sure I'm missing the subtlety. Doesn't really matter.
I'm going to say Rune, Rune.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mentioned that the letters wasn't going to be a difficult thing, but it all depends on what's in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hope and say best, BEST.
Okay.
Oh no, that's oh, can't that even be turned into anything? Oh my gosh, because we've got the T's out. I forgot.
That's okay.
Okay.
I think so. Oh, but I can't play that one. I think it can be. Yeah.
Okay, let's
It's
not
gonna be
cheat
tricky.
and rewind. Let's keep going.
It's gonna be tricky, but we can play with it.
I think the lesson for me is that I need to get up more than an hour before we stream.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I forgot about these ones that have been taken out. All the T's and all the O's. And it's just there to kind of catch you out if you aren't paying attention, like I wasn't.
Let's see.
Oh,
Muds. Is that more than one mud?
yeah, I
Does that
guess
work?
types of mods. Have you? I'm going to. Oh, wait. Okay, let me check. Okay. I think, okay. I'm going to say panes, as in window panes. Hmm.
Um, uh, Muds?
And
You're sure more than one mud is okay, right?
panes, window panes. We managed to clear it. Oh my gosh. And so we just have to
Okay.
move forward.
Muds
Is
is
that
plural.
correct?
Yes. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go with muds.
Nice. I was concerned about the NES or
Oh yeah,
BE.
there were lots of outs for that. I felt confident in us. Muds I was less confident about, but we made it. I just made sure it could be plural, so it can't. Made it to a plural.
I am going to say, yeah, lake. LAKE.
Okay.
Of course, one interesting thing here is how the two rows are starting to diverge a lot more, and there's a lot more. Ooh, that
L-A-K.
is helpful. Rake, just for diversity, even though it could be lake again.
We'll rake the lake with that one.
Okay, we just need
There
one
we
more.
go.
I'm going to say. Oof. Actually, I'm going to discard.
Oh
I know.
wow. With two rows to play with? Interesting. Okay.
So
I'm so surprised.
we do have
Okay.
enough cards. I'm seeing that there, and those two people, Kirsten will notice that they're both the same
Yep.
border, which might give a clue. And
Play.
there was a reason. I'm going to say pray, Pray.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That sounds like
I'm
small
going to say
bubbles.
prig.
Prig.
P-R-I-G.
Oh, I was going to say prick, but then I
Oh,
thought, oh, we don't have the K.
we do
Um,
not.
Pride. Pride. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So this is where I'm going to look at the lower letters to see what's out, and I'm going to start a new row and say digs, even though there's only one G left. Digs. D-I-G-S.
Prig.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Our 4 words.
Did that feel... Oh, wow, that took us quite a while. That took us 8 minutes. But I was going to say, did that feel slightly easier than the second chapter?
I'm not sure. I mean, there was that point where you thought we were stuck.
Yeah.
We had a disaster on our hands. I definitely felt pressure on that in terms of avoiding the same letter. I mean, we had a couple of times where we had the same letters in cards in the words.
To be fair, the second chapter only got tough at 9 and 10. So...
Yeah, and I definitely feel like with 4-letter words and with the extra constraints that it was a step up from easy. I still think it's moderate. It's definitely not into our tricky
and just to
realm.
remind people, after quest number 10, you are allowed to just jump up to 13, which is what we're about to get to.
Yeah.
But success.
Success.
They didn't blow anything up, so you might just be made for this. So far, the junior librarian thing seems to be going quite well. You talk with ease, but do you trust your senses? Find out in your next assignment in quest number 13. Do you mind if I read this one?
Not at all while I'm cleaning up. Not a problem.
Quest number 13, beginnings and endings. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it, says the assistant. This Arcana section is a window to our history and secures our future. Render high-level care here. His somberness has darkened the aura of the room, but you are determined to surpass this exercise. So we still have T's and O's out. We have to have 4 or more letters, but words must start and end with the same letter. And so this is exciting. This is something that I'm not even entirely sure how it will go.
Yes,
we are definitely...
This is a bit new for both of us.
We are taking advantage of this as not just a playthrough, but a playtest. And we are, after each chapter, looking at the few chapters ahead and considering them. So we will have to really think about making sure the beginnings and endings are the same. Would you like to start again?
Sure. I will say sins, S-I-N-S.
Oh. Sips, S-I-P-S.
Sins, S-I-N-S.
And even if I had a word, I could make a word and it would be cleared, but it does have to have the same letter at the start and end to be a quest word, which is what we're after. So I'm going to say oh my gosh, I almost let me retract what I was about to say. Rear, R-E-A-R.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and clear sins from the board.
Okay.
I noticed we have duplicate borders. We no longer have to worry about that. Fortunately, because we did have duplicates in there, but we did get our starting and ending letter the same. Yay, us.
Okay. If I could, this is interesting. If I could discard or pass, like if I could discard just the one, then I might. REAR is what I said, and I'm going to stick with rear. REAR. Oh, I mean, that's probably cheating me just making that noise. But
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say bird, knowing full well that would not qualify us for a quest.
And, oh, it's Joe Kelly. Hello, Joe. I hope you're generally well. Someone else that I met at UK Games Expo and another contest winner, I think, the year before.
Joe Kelly, did you design Squirrel?
You might be thinking of Joe Kell. So there's two designers.
No, it's my friend Shanti. I kept saying, "Do you mean Joe Kell?" to my friend Shanti. Shared Squirrel with. I'm pretty sure it's Squirrel with me. It's a word game.
Yeah. Joe did design Squirrel. Oh, is that the new name of the word game?
Exciting. Yeah, I hope it's okay. Shanti showed it to me because I was, of course, we're working on Questabell and we were talking about word games, and it looks great.
I completely forgot the name of that game, but yeah, if that's the one that I played, the sort of roll and write with all the special abilities. Yes, it's the word game I played, and it's been renamed. That's totally cool. Yeah, you made Rear.
We did. Rear and Sins. I don't know if we should talk about where this is heading, but family stream. Anyway, it looks marvelous, Joe Kelly.
Oof, I'm
nice to stream meet you.
I am concerned. So, Joe, just so you know, the conditions for this level, T and O are out, and I have to make words. Well, we have to make words. Sorry, Kirsten, for excluding you. We have to make words that start and end with the same letter, which is a surprisingly big challenge. And even though I am going to go rear again.
Okay. Okay.
How many words do we have to make? It says 4 words.
4 again.
Joe says, "Thank you. I've played a bit of Questabell with Bez, and I love it."
Oh, Mutual Admiration Society. Thank you. That's lovely. Yeah, I would love to play some Squirrel. Is it okay if he shares with me the whole PNP? He showed it to me, but
yeah, I mean, you should be friends on. You're both on Facebook and active. Although Facebook Messenger is messing up these days. Kirsten, it's your turn, or did you play?
I know. I'm thinking.
Okay, that's fair. I couldn't work out anything to do with the IC, and so I'm clearly.
And what did you say? You said rear again.
Yeah, I said rear again. And
okay.
I'm doing these things with thoughtfulness, relative thoughtfulness.
This is challenging. I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to say, am I? I'm going to say that I put down the wrong card. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, no.
We do have plenty of cards left. It's fine.
We do. We
We haven't discarded anything.
Oh gosh, I'm going to say that I am sad that I put down the wrong card. Because now I'm having trouble thinking of a word that I can make with these. Okay, I'm just gonna say nice, and ICE.
And Joe does
not
say,
particularly helpful.
yes, I'd be happy to share the files with you, Kirsten.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I am going to say, okay,
I do enjoy
I'm
rolling
going to
right
say
hand
rear
one.
again.
Okay. I think my way out of this is MAIM, MAIN.
Oh, amazing. Let's check. Okay, we've used 2 of the 3 of the R's are out of the thing. I think I still want to do that. MAIM.
Okay. Lovely.
It clears that, and we just have to make one word.
Okay. I'm going to say noon.
Joe says, congrats, and what's a great word? Thank you. No, I'm sorry. Carry on.
I said noon.
Noon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such as it is.
There's 15 cards, and even though it feels kind of cheap, okay, noon doesn't quite work because the O's are out of the deck.
Oh, that's right. That's okay.
Na, ne, oh,
oh, that's the thing. I don't want to mess that up though. It's the other one potentially out there.
I'm going to check one word. I'm allowed to check one word per turn. And I'm going to check if LALL is a word. Lal. Yes, it is a word. To make imperfect L or R sounds like or as an infant. Thank you for that definition, Collins English Dictionary. Yeah, and okay. Oh, it's basically when it's like the W sound instead of R or L, like Wowie, like I want, yeah, like you're a Wowie. Anyway, so Lal, LALL.
Well, I think I'm going to. You're right. That didn't go well.
It is noticeable.
I'm just going to discard.
We have had to, and I'm just going to make Lal, and that finishes the thing.
Cool.
I think I was really feeling a struggle in that one.
Definitely. Although it was interesting that we were working toward rear twice.
Well, I did actually have my R, and if you had another E, or if I'd picked up another E, we could have done rear.
I had the R.
Fine?
I just
Should
didn't
people
have
be
the
allowed
E.
to duplicate words? Because some people asked about it.
I don't see a problem with that. I think it's not always doable, which we found because I just drew this E. So we were trying, but it wasn't very doable. We had to switch gears. So I don't mind.
I didn't take a note. I think we finished about a minute ago, or was it less? I'll say it. And Joe says, "What's a Wowie word?"
Okay. That's wonderful. Or wonderful.
So 39. Wow, that's taken us the longest out of any, which is good because they should be tending towards harder things. And at the end of the level, do you want to read the end and I'll read the start?
Sure. I'll read the success. Success! You know you preserved the past, but can't help wondering why you have learned so little of it here thus far. You have many unanswered questions. It may be too soon for fact-finding as you tackle your next assignment in quest number 14.
And in quest number 14...
May I point something out that you might not have noticed in quest number 13? I had a little fun writing it. I had Arcana, Window, Secures, Render, High, Level, Somberness, Darkened, Aura, Determined, Surpass, and Exercise all started and ended with the same letter. I had a little fun with
nice.
that. Oh, and remember.
I'm going to just copy paste that into the comments because that does deserve to be shared.
I had some fun writing that one.
And
Nice
Joe
to see
has
you,
to head
Joe.
off, but great to see you both and some more Questabell in action. Lots of love to you and hope to see you relatively soon. So dooba-dooba, dooba-dooba-dooba. I'm going to introduce Quest 14. Quest 14, Conjuring Conundrum. The head librarian's assistant barks at you as you arrive. Someone has summoned some trouble from the sooty depths of the Conjuring section. Go see what you can do to control these to's and fro's. You don't realize you've hesitated until he says, now. You hustle to Conjuring, ready for a little excitement. So we not only have removed the T's and O's, but also the S's. And now we have to use 2 or more bottom letters. So how's this quest going to compare to the previous one? I'm actually quite excited to find out.
Yes, because that one definitely had some tension, I felt.
I would absolutely agree.
Yeah, that was a good juicy tension. All right, no T's, no S's, no O's, and we've lost a bunch of other letters as well. Okay. 2 bottom letters. Minimum.
Yeah, and Kirsten has helpfully placed all those cards so you can see what lower letters are out. Because as we said last time, there is no way to use a V now, because there's only one V in the deck, and it's out. And there's no way to use an X. Not that we are likely to want to use an X, but it might behoove us to remember there's only 2 H's left, not 5.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm going to say...
Let me make a note. No, carry on. I'm just making a note of when we start.
I'm going to say chew, C-H-E-W, chew.
C-H-E-W. Okay. I'm going to say... Racy, R-A-C-Y.
Okay.
This is part of the tension, like whether it's better to play on something that someone's already created. And I think in 3 or 4 players, it's almost always better to play on the road that's always there. But in 2 players, I really feel this tension of, do I want to play on the same line and possibly mess you up, or do I want to play on a different line? And
I'm going to say hem.
Hem.
I know that's not long enough, but that's what I get to give you.
I said racy. I'm going to say... Oh, I'm going to check dicey without an E, D-I-C-Y. If that's no, it's not an alternative spelling. We could go for dicey and diamide, but I don't think we want to go for such a long word. It's a chemical.
Yes, I would vote for shorter words with our limited deck, since we have 18 cards out.
What did you say? Hum?
Hem, Hem.
Hem.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna say rube, Rube.
Hub. Um. Oh dear, this does not seem to be going well. I was really confident, thinking, okay, this will be easier than the previous quest. But I think we did actually put them in the right order. Um, I'm going to check another word, lyce, Lice. You know, like if something's
Oh,
got
I see
lots of.
why. Yeah.
No, that doesn't work. Um, Scakin, I am very concerned. I'm considering seriously discarding. I feel
Mhm.
that, given that we've not even made a single word, I don't feel great about this, but I can't see a great word, and
The Q's okay to get rid of. I think I still believe in us. All right, I'm gonna say rube, Rube.
just to get rid of that.
Well, it counts. It's 2 lower letters.
Oh, of course it does. U and B. Oh my gosh. I yeah. Okay.
We're okay. Never fear.
I will say um daze, Daze.
Okay. I will say racy, Racy.
Yes. Oh, let me double check the spelling. I'm 99% sure this is correct, but
I did
Lacey,
too. Oh,
Lacy. Yes,
okay.
Lacey is
Cool.
also valid. Boom.
Awesome.
I wonder if EY is an alternative spelling. I think it. Yeah, both are correct. Lacey with an E or without.
I will say maze, Maze.
I will say daze, Daze.
I will finish up maze, Maze.
Hooray! And I will say dung, Dung. I am so childish.
Hmm.
Sorry. Going to mute and have some drinks of water.
I'm going to say weak, Week.
Wait a minute, how many G's are there? There's 1, 2 out. There's one more in the deck. Yep. Dung.
I'll say dunk.
That works as well, and I just realised that Dune could also have worked. So,
It
but let's
could.
go with Dunk.
Dunk uses 3 lower letters, and that does it.
Yeah. And that's us. Do you think that so that took us 6 minutes, whereas the previous one took us 11 minutes? Do you think the minutes is actually a fair representation of how difficult something is?
Maybe, but then also, I don't know how. That was looking a little scary there when we just had our CY at
Yeah,
the top.
the ending felt easier than the previous level, but the start was a bit tricky. Are we
Yeah.
happy with those 2 levels in that order?
Um. Yeah, I wonder. Well, if we reverse the order, I think this one gets too easy. Unless And the other one, I think, needs to have the S's in it.
Hmm.
So I feel like this is the right order, partly because of the letter removal.
You might be right, yeah. And not
And
everything.
some folks have a harder time with lower letters than you and I do. I think because we know the deck so well and
That's
know
true.
confidently
Us
about the
knowing
lower
the deck
letters.
really well does make a big difference, whereas starting and ending with the lower letters is more general word knowledge, whereas starting and ending with the same letters is more general word knowledge, whereas having two lower letters is more specific deck knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
So while you reset,
Okay,
I will read out the level for Quest.
Exciting.
Oh my gosh. What's... Oh no, I'll read out the success for quest number 13. You know you preserve the past, but can't help wondering why you have learned so little of it here thus far. You have many unanswered questions. It may be too soon for fact-finding as you
That's the
tackle...
wrong one. Is that the wrong one? That's the wrong one.
Oh wait,
I just
sorry.
read that one.
Oh yes, we were... you met the challenges of the darkness at their level using magical words and skill. Even the assistant solemnly nods his approval as you dust your hands off. A job well done. What can't you handle with aplomb? Will you find out in quest number 15? And quest number 15 is going to be Troll's Return, where we remove not only the T and the O and the S, but also the N's. And we have to make words of 4 or more letters. We have a mini deck of F, P's, and Y's, all the cards with a 2 on them. And we have to use all 6 of those lower letters, F, P, and Y. But in addition, we cannot have any duplicate letters. This does sound like a tricky challenge indeed. We have made it slightly harder for ourselves, but are we up to the task? I think we are.
Only 20 cards in the deck. All right.
Okay, would you like to...
No duplicate letters. Okay. Quest number 15, Troll's Return. Fip and Piff have returned, the assistant shouts over the pounding feet as your fellow librarians race toward the south end of the building. They are in evocation, the healing section. Hurry! Healing, you ponder as you run alongside waves of defenders. What could they want there? Would they destroy the power of kind and healing words? Such monsters wouldn't use them for good. So even as your stomach is in knots, you resolve to protect the section at all costs. So we have lost the N as well as the T, O, and S. We have to make 4 or more letter long words. And we have to use that Fip and Piff mini deck, F's, P's, and Y's, with no duplicate letters. So we can't get clever with puffy or flappy.
Yeah, we did a lot of that when we were playtesting it before. And once you've played it a few times, that's how you... I'm going to say...
Hold on. I'm realizing. There we go. Okay.
Everything okay?
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay, 54 we started.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say fail and flip that. How do I turn it?
F.
F. Okay. And part of the reason that I put down that card was because we get to see the next one.
Yep. Hold on a moment for me. Yes, I'm going to say fume, F-U-M-E.
Oh, if only we. And we can't use the EY, of course, for the E. It has to be the Y. And I'm thinking if only I had something in my hand. Oh, that doesn't fit. Okay. I will go fume, sure.
Okay. We'll finish it with that. Fume.
Okay, I'm going to hope and say fury. Fury. Whoops.
I'll go with fury.
Although I just realised that, and I'm going to say fairy. Fairy.
I'll say fairy. Fairy.
Yay! And that means we clear two things at once.
Indeed.
Only 3 left. We're halfway done. But we only have 8 cards left in the deck.
I played the A, you played the F. My next one. Mm-hmm. I will say
to yourself.
No, to my daughter.
Okay.
My littlest was peeking in before going to bed. I will say peer, Peer. Oh, which we can't do.
And of course, we can't use the 2 R's either, but I will say pram, Pram.
Okay. I will say perk, Perk.
So you know the last one is a Y?
Yep. Could work.
I will say pram, getting rid of an AJ.
All right, I'm going to count letters. Bear with me a moment.
Oh, I'm
going to consult the council. Can I consult the council?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Do you have an M?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say perky. Perky.
KY. So I'm going to check how many R's are left. 1, 2 are on the board, so there's quite a few. So, but I will, regardless, put pray.
Okay, cool.
Which means
perk.
And
you can do that.
Assuming, yeah, I'm going to assume you got this.
Oh, you could. Okay, you could have done.
Oh
perm.
Yeah, I could have said perm. I was
like, oh, your M will work.
Clearly got the K.
Yep. Yes, I definitely wouldn't clue. Oops, I wouldn't clue the K without having the K. You are absolutely right.
Oh my gosh. That felt about as hard as the previous two. Like, I feel like 13, 14, 15 all felt quite challenging in different ways. Like, that was a very short level.
Yeah, well, we only have 20 cards to play with, and only had 2 left in the deck.
Yeah,
actually, one if I drew up. Yeah.
If we had a 4-player game, that would have been even harder.
Oh yeah,
it is, and let me reduce the thing. We decided that, for the sake of Kirsten actually getting to bed at a reasonable hour, we are going to stop this stream at the end of chapter 3. And we decided that just before going live. I am going to read out the ending, if that's okay, and then we can discuss it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Success! Vip and Piff are banished at last in a puff of smoke, but you could swear one of them had a gold-bound book clutched to his massive chest. Remembering the sight, you realise it wasn't tearing or harming it as you might have imagined. With both the smoke and the image of their hideous visages fading, you look around and note that nothing is harmed or even particularly out of place. Most strange. Prepare for more attacks and build on your knowledge in quest number 16, or if you feel sufficiently prepared, go ahead and jump to quest number 17. And we will talk to you about those next week, but it is Chapter 4, Preparing to Face the Enemy. And by next week, I mean on Tuesday. So how are we feeling about that particular chapter? And anyone who was watching, do you think that those quests seem to advance in difficulty? I think number 13 was a new one for both of us, and I was pleasantly surprised by it feeling nicely tricky, but it didn't feel too tricky. I think it felt appropriate enough with the other levels. I do slightly wonder. Yeah, let me ask you what you think. I've got thoughts, or do you want me to share the thought first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I was half thinking, if we were to swap 13 and 14 and leave the T and O out, if you know what I mean, would that make two bottom letters harder than the no duplicate borders? I think it would. And then the beginnings and endings, and then the Trolls Return having the TOS, and then, but maybe that's just me wanting there's a massive jump at the end. And I think what it comes from is, I feel like what I'm actually wondering is, was number 15 hard enough for a boss? Because we are meant to be fighting these. And I'm also thinking that there is an unfortunate, how can I put this? It's unfortunately always going to be the case that the difficulty does change depending on the number of players, and there's no getting around that. And I think that 2 players is a reasonable way to try it out, but that one would have been harder with 4.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like I'm happy with it for now, even though like I would like to, this is more of a, in 2 months or a few months thing, kind of, let's potentially re-examine it, because nothing is ever perfect, rather than I'm actively not happy with it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think it's very difficult for us to judge difficulty when it's 2 players, but to us as the 2 players. So I think definitely seeing how people feel about it that are not us and so familiar with the deck and so comfortable with all of the mechanics. I mean, we've played it so much at this point that we're quite seasoned in both with the game, all of the mechanics we've introduced, because we have tested them, and definitely familiar with the deck. I'm not as familiar as you are, of course. But I might be second, because I think, although there may be folks out there who've played it as much in other games, I've definitely played it a lot with Questabell. So
I feel like also Questabell forces you to learn, what borders does this have? And I love the fact that it forces me to look at my own deck in a new way, if you know what I mean. And it's like, okay, the fact that these top letters are being removed, and then you need to think, okay, these other letters aren't in the deck anymore. I mean, that's not something I think happened in any other game, just removing the top letters. I do this might sound like a cop-out, but I am very aware that whilst ideally we want each chapter to go, okay, a little dip at the start and then ascend to a higher state of difficulty than the previous one. And I think we have broadly managed that. I think that level 15, when I compare it to level 10, yeah, I think it is, well, it's a very different challenge because level 10 was exactly 20 cards. But I feel like level 15 was more stressful for me. I mean, level 15 was more stressful, and I felt like I had to think more. And we've played the FIP and PIF levels a lot. We've spent the time working out what is a good word, and I don't. And it still took me a moment to think. Oh, instead of pram, I could have said pray, and because I knew that the last letter was going to be a Y, and I don't know whether you noticed pray before I played it.
No, I didn't. I realized after I said perk, I went, oh, I could have said perky. So I was like, I can. If you can.
You said perky.
I did on the second one. By the time I did the second one, the first time I said perk.
Okay.
And then I realized, oh, I could have said perky, but I didn't. and then I didn't want to use up the M if you really needed it for the. That's why I asked if you had the M, not even thinking that you could use the Y for pray instead. But because my E was the EM, so I wanted to be sure that I wasn't messing us up on pram. So I was still thinking pram. I hadn't even thought of pray.
And it's interesting how your mind does sometimes go blind to things like that. But like,
and not just for us. That definitely happens in playtests too, where folks will get locked in on that one word. And not see some of the other options they have.
And as an outside observer, you kind of zone out and then you come back and then you have these realizations that someone who's been hyper-focused on one thing, their mind stays channeled down a particular path and it doesn't quite work so well. And I actually, I feel like in that chapter, 13, 14, 15 were of a similar difficulty level. I'm not exactly sure which one was the hardest between 13, 14, 15. I'm not sure. And whilst, part of me wants to make it so that there's an obvious progression, in order to do that, over 50 levels, I don't think is possible, because that would entail making too big a drop. Because I think we realize that whilst we do want to drop, we don't want the drop to be quite as big as we've had in the past. And so I think that having levels that are possibly, for some people, in the wrong order, because maybe 14 for some people is easier than 13 or whatever, I think that, as long as it's in the right order for the majority of people, I am okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true that different players will have different experience different difficulties. I think we've both play tested back to back, even on the easy levels, and found one group to say this one's easier than this one in quick succession, and the next group says the reverse, right? So it's and it can be very group dependent. It can be just personally dependent, because each of these levels is sort of asking for a different thing. Like you said, 13 is sort of words, vocabulary that you can pull from with the same starting and ending letter, but then knowing the deck helps more for quest 14. And then 15 is a bit of a combination. It's taking away so many letters and giving a tension of time. It's giving a time pressure and a limited amount of cards. So knowing the deck helps, but also using your vocabulary with those specific letters, F, P, and Y, and what's left. So it's kind of drawing on both. How that deck comes up can be, we were kind of lucky that you said, I'm going to go for Fury, and the right letter popped up. Was it the F? You played it with the Y, and then the F popped up, because the F could have been at the bottom, right? And so we could have had to tactically change our approach, but we got lucky on that too. So there's
like the F was the first card on the top. That was how I started.
No, they're not Fury. That was the first. We did Fume with that one, I think.
Oh, yes.
There was the next one you said, I'm going to take a chance. And the next card that flipped up absolutely fit in the word you happened to say, which doesn't always happen. I've played the FIP and PIF levels for sure, where we go, okay, we're going to try for, even on the easier level where you can duplicate letters. And we'll say, I'm going to try for pump or something or pop. And that those P's are separated by the whole deck. And then all of a sudden you're going, okay, wait, that's not going to work. What am I going to do now? So, yeah, I just think that they all call on a little bit different skill or familiarity with the deck or that sort of thing. And so that can be challenging in different ways to different people. It's really tough to satisfy everybody in terms of that scaling.
I was kind of doing the maths, and I think if you make a 4-letter word with either one F or one P or one Y in each of those words, you will end the deck, if you know what I mean. You will have to play every card in your hand.
Yeah.
So you will need a good amount of luck, and you'll need a good amount of remembering what's on the final cards that's on people's hands.
Yes.
But I think that this is where you really need to have multiples in one single word. If you don't, I don't think you're going to beat this level. And it definitely changes massively from level 5. And I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the no duplicate letters, even though we have it just so you can't do puffy or things like that. I think that it does make it's a clean way of doing this. And you also can't do peer, for example. Well, we can do PIER, but not PEER. And I like that rule because it's something you keep in mind. Honestly, I'm very happy with Chapter 3. I don't think we need to change anything. And
I'm really pleased how 13 came out, and I'm really pleased how Quest 13 came out, because that was the new to us one, since we made a couple of changes, and I'm really pleased that one.
Yeah, if anyone's wanting to know behind the scenes, we basically decided that Quest 11 was too easy, and we needed to make Quest 12 the new Quest 11, Quest 13 the new Quest 12, and then we made the new Quest 13, and we talked through some ideas last time. And yeah, it did work really well. I think this was also your idea. Congratulations, Kirsten. But I love that it's a playground where we can try things and they feel so different. And I'm really proud of that, where the quests do actually feel diverse. Because when I look at the thing that we just played, okay, level 11 was just an introduction. It's still just an introduction. It's still clearly easier than Quest 12. But then after that, Quest 12, 13, 14, 15, they are all very different. I mean, no duplicate borders does make you think about things in a new way. Starting and ending with the same letter, it's actually challenging a particular style of vocabulary, and it forces you down a particular path, because we can't just change the words as easily. And the bottom letters, okay, with the extra letter coming out, and FIP and PIF, of course, as you say, with the time pressure, I don't want to big us up more than we deserve, but I think we deserve some bigging up.
That did feel good. I'm quite happy.
So, do we want to read the Chapter 4 introduction before we finish up? Do we want to say anything else before we finish up?
We could do that, a teaser for next time.
Something still feels incongruous about your last battle, but you can't quite narrow down what. You put it out of your mind as you're tasked with protecting what some consider the darkest arts: necromancy, rituals, and sorcery. It's believed that your great foe will target these sections of the mystical library next, so you are determined he'll find you unassailable and realize his dastardly designs are fruitless. And we've still not named this great foe that you are fighting against.
No, we have still not met this enemy, this mysterious enemy. Hopefully, dropping some little foreshadowing in that people are curious, but we haven't met him yet, or her, or them.
So, is there anything that you would like to say to those watching? I see there's 19 people on Twitter, although we don't know if Elon Musk is a liar. I'm not saying that they are, I'm just saying that there have been things they've done in the past that make me doubt the veracity of, their platform that they have bought. And I was going to say mutilated, that's what I'm going to say. Is that too harsh a verb, or do you think that's reasonable, that Elon Musk has kind of mutilated Twitter?
I think that's apt.
Okay. And to the people on YouTube and the person on Twitch, thank you very much for watching. And feel free to comment. Of course, we are happy to answer all respectful questions and even have a tangent now it's the end of the show. We are going to talk together for a wee bit after we go off stream about the future levels. And I'm feeling good. I'm excited to keep working through. I will say that, actually, I'm not going to say that on camera. I don't think there's anything else I want to say on camera other than lots of love to everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Shall we do it? Shall we sing goodbye?
Indeed.
Bye, bye, bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. We'll be back on Tuesday at the same time, 10 a.m. UK or 9 p.m. New Zealand. And level quest number 4 is what we will play. Bye.